Can you
I
guys see it?
see the screen, yeah. Good
Okay.
morning, everyone. I usually say let's start in like 3, 4 minutes, just because every time we start right at 10 o'clock, 5 minutes later, here it goes, 10 more people.
Yeah. That's fine.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Did everyone have a good March break?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to turn off my video because I want to eat.
It's a new thing now, Elga. The influencers are eating on screen as they're doing their live.
Okay, well, see, I have a breakfast salad.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Enjoy.
I'm going to turn off my video.
What's in your salad?
Ooh. Well, it's a mixed salad with blueberries and then egg because I love a Cobb salad. So I thought
mm.
there's nothing wrong with having that for breakfast.
No?
Oh no, that's good. That's good breakfast.
Get my greens in, some fruit, some protein, all good.
All right, we're just waiting another minute or two because people tend to come in around 10:05, 10:04.
Yeah.
Let me know, Andrea, when you want me to start and I'll get it going.
Just wait 1 more minute. Just because I always find that more people are jumping in, and then you almost feel like you want to start again. Okay.
All right. Okay. All right, everyone, thanks for joining today. Today, I want to talk about Instagram stories, but I think it doesn't matter what platform you're on. If they have stories, you could reuse a lot of this on different platforms as well. It just happens to be that Instagram is where I'm most comfortable. And I think it's such an under talked about or underutilized feature on the platform for actually generating leads, building relationships, nurturing leads, and then eventually converting them. And it's where I've seen most of my relationships actually start is through stories. So why I actually love them. So this is where I've met many of my clients for the first time. And I say met them for the first time because it's the first place that we ever actually talked to each other was through on Instagram stories. It's where I've engaged with many of you for the first time, where I've met many agents that I work with today, referral partners, friends, other business owners that I've collaborated with, who I either use for their services or they've referred me or we use each other. So basically, it's where I've built a ton of relationships. And I think there's so much focus on what content we put out there. But Instagram stories are a great way to connect on a deeper level with the followers that we already have, whereas fresh content can be great for bringing people in. But I think we forget about how to actually use stories in a strategic way. And so that's what I want a little bit with you today. So I don't know if you guys can put in the chat or if anybody wants to unmute, but if you can put in the chat, how often are you guys all posting to stories right now? Oh, yeah, I can't see the chat. Can I?
You can see the chat?
No, I think maybe because I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So we have here 3 to 15 times a day. 3 times a week. I try every morning, once a week, a couple of times a week. I don't know how to use story yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, okay, we're going to get into some stats in a minute, but that's good to keep in mind. So, by the end of this, we're also going to talk about strategies on how to show up more often on stories, and then we can talk also how to use them for people who don't know. So for those that do know how to use stories, or even if you don't know how to use stories, but maybe you're posting content, videos, posts, whatever, do you feel comfortable talking on camera, whether that's on your stories or on posts? And then put it in the chat. Sorry, I still can't see the chat. Yeah, every time I
Yeah. Yes, I do. I'm very comfortable. No, I'm not. No. So it's a mix.
It's a mix. Okay. And for those that are uncomfortable, or maybe you're comfortable, but you're not consistent yet, is there anything that's holding you back from showing up? Is it because you're insecure about how you sound, or you don't know what to say, or you don't like to use video, or you're just not comfortable with the platform? Or even you might feel like you don't have time to show up consistently on your stories?
Timing.
Time.
Yeah, that's guys, just put in the chat so I can read to her. I don't know. I don't always know what to post. Time is an issue. I don't know what to say. All of the above.
Okay. Okay, I think this presentation will help with a lot of that. So just some stats, there's over 500 million active users looking at stories, posting on stories every single day. So it's a really important place to be showing up consistently. If you have any of your past clients or present clients, your sphere on social media, other realtors, those could be potential referral partners, mortgage agents, stagers, all of these people are people who can refer you business or who could use you themselves. This is a great way for you to get in front of them multiple times a day. And this helps them get to know you a lot better. And 58% of them say that they're more interested in a brand after seeing their stories. And so I think one of the reasons why this happens is because what's on your feed is very like public, right? It gets sent out to everyone, even if they don't follow you. Whereas what's on your stories, it's a little bit more intimate. It only lasts for 24 hours. It's more behind the scenes. It gives people a peek into your actual life, or who you are as a person, who you are as a brand, what you represent on a much deeper level than something like a post would. Your story only stays up for 24 hours, so it's a little bit more exclusive. People can't just come to your profile 2 days later and see what you posted. They need to be looking throughout the day if they want to see what you're doing and what you're up to, because it's going to expire after 24 hours. And stories have a really high engagement, and they're a direct connection to your audience. They allow your audience to DM you through the story. So whatever you post, they can interact with it directly there, or they can send you a message right through your Instagram story. So it's actually a really powerful tool to start conversations with people and to continue to have conversations with those same people over and over again. So stories are where conversations happen, and conversations equal relationships, relationships equal business. So I think it's such an important place to spend some of our time and put in some strategy behind what we're actually posting there and how we're showing up on our stories. And I personally think it's a very easy way to do this because it doesn't need to be as curated as what goes on your feed. It can very much be what's happening in the moment in your day. And that takes a lot less time and effort and planning. So if time is a problem, we're going to get into some strategies for that. But I just want you to keep in mind that these don't need to be perfect or polished or curated. Actually, the more raw and authentic and in the moment your stories are, the better the conversion tends to be and the more conversations that you get from them. So there's some ways that you can actually engage your audience on Instagram stories. So we can use polls and sliders. So, if you use the stickers option when you're creating a story, you can click to add a poll and you can ask questions. So you could post different styles of kitchens or different styles of houses, backyards, whatever you want. And you could say, which one do you prefer? You could have a slider where you have the little heart emoji and people slide it to say how much they like it. And you could put there, do you love this kitchen? Would you like this neighborhood? Would you ever buy a beach house? Whatever it is. The idea here is that people are engaging with your stories. And that's important because it helps you get more views on the rest of your stories. So for example, you could use the strategy if you want to post you're going to post something, maybe a guide that you want people to download, or you're going to post a property that you just listed. Before you post that, you could post a couple of polls to generate more engagement because that pushes your stories out to more people. And then you post the coming soon or the just listed post, right, to get more eyes on it. So you can use this as a strategy to build up the engagement to then release something that's going to have more eyes on it. You can also use this to start conversations with people because when they interact with your poll, then that gives you a reason to then DM them and start a conversation that's relative to whatever you posted. And again, these aren't hard sells. It's not like, do you want to buy a house this year? You could absolutely do that and see if anybody says yes or no. But more likely, if you ask soft questions, you will get more answers, which allows you to then direct message these people and to start the conversations. You could post Q&A questions. So this allows you to directly answer people's questions and show your authority in the space. So for example, you could do something like, what's your biggest question about the market? There's so many questions you could ask people and get them to type their question. And then you can answer it in video so that all of your followers can see the answer. But then you can go and actually direct message that person and have more of a conversation with them about their question. You can also use things like links and stickers to, there's countdown stickers. So let's say you have a coming soon, or you're going to announce something, you have a big announcement to make. You can actually use the countdown and that can increase engagement because people might come back because they're interested to see what you have to share. You can also post links in your stories. So these are features that you can't really use just on a post or a reel. So you can actually direct people to guides that you've created. These can be lead magnets. Like I gave an example here. Maybe you have a guide on the best private schools in Toronto. So this encourages people to actually exchange their information to get something from you. But you can't do this just through a post or a reel. So that's why stories are pretty cool. You get to have these extra features that you can't really use other places. You could also use links to send people to different resources that you have or different platforms that you're on where they could then go and engage in even more of your content and get to know you better or see your authority on a different platform, like sending them to a blog post, for example. So asking questions, sharing a story, for example, like what's worked really well for me is I'll talk about something with my kids or something kind of personal, not necessarily about business or real estate. And then I'll ask them, like, has anything like this ever happened to you? Or do you know where the best place to go get sushi in Toronto is? Or my kids are home for March break. I don't know what to do with them. What are you guys doing with your kids? I'm just talking and asking questions, and then people will respond. And this is a great way for me to then go and start the conversations with them. There's also like controversial topics or questions and to see what your audience thinks. This doesn't mean that you need to talk about like politics or religion or anything like that. For example, I talked about at my kids' school how they always teach like hands to yourself and you don't hit kids, you don't push kids. But if your kid's being, bullied at school or someone's pushing them, is it okay for them to defend themselves? And that got a lot of conversation starting. And I did a poll and people were voting like, yes, it's okay, or no, it's never okay. But beyond that, a lot of people sent me like long personal messages about situations their kids had, and that opened the door to such a deeper relationship with these people because they were opening up about things that we never would have talked about, right? And they were quite personal to them, and that allowed me to have an even better relationship with some of my followers and maybe people that I don't usually talk to, but that triggered something in them to go and respond to me. So that's an example of kind of like a hot topic where you can talk about something that kind of gets people, they feel passionate one way or another, and they want to share that perspective with you. And then being relatable, so sharing personable stories, relatable stories, things that are happening in the moment. Like, for example, if I'm going to the gym or when I was really into hot yoga, I would post and be like sweaty after a hot yoga session and talk about it. but I'm not looking, all perfect or anything. I'm just showing up how I am, but that would get people who feel the same way. They're like, oh yeah, I also, worked out today, or whatever. I posted how I have like one shirt that I wear to the gym. I wear basically the same shirt every day to the gym. And so many people were like, yeah, I don't care what I look like. I wear the same thing over and over again. And it was very relatable, and people actually wanted to respond to that story. Also showing like how messy, your car gets, or how crazy the house is if the kids are home all day. Things like that, people actually appreciate, and it allows them to feel more connected to you and to want to engage with you. So this is just an example, like when I talked about, like the kids pushing at school. So 19%, 90%, 19 people said, yeah, they should be able to defend themselves. And then 2 people said, no, just go tell a teacher. But beyond that, like I said, I don't think it was the amount of votes, it's the conversations that I got. And then all of those people who sent me like no, hands to themselves, I could go and send them a message like, oh, so do you think if this happens, how would you handle it with your kids, or what do you tell your kids? And same thing for the people who said that they should defend themselves. If they didn't already send me a message, which most of them did, but if they didn't, I could go and ask them more questions and start conversation with them about that, and kind of share my story and why I was talking about this. And that allowed us to have like really good conversation. This was a government program with real estate that the Ontario government or the Canadian government was rolling out. And I asked people, what they think about the program. And again, it could be a little bit controversial, but also it was directly related to real estate. So then it allowed me, for these 60% of people who said they need more information, to actually go and share resources with them and educate them on this topic, which is directly to do with real estate, which opens the door to these real estate conversations. We had like a car accident, our car was a write-off. I didn't know what to do. Should I buy a brand new car, a used car? Like I just went to Instagram and asked my followers, what would you do if you were in my situation? And then again, this started so many conversations with people who told me like what they did if they got in an accident, or where they go to buy a used car, what they look for. And again, it's just a really good way to start these deeper conversations with people. It makes people remember you, and it helps you also get to know the people who are following you, who you may have never talked to before. So we can also use this to actually generate leads. So for example, you can create your lead magnets, like a city guide, buyer's checklist, whatever it is that you have or that you want to create. And you can create posts, stories talking about this. You can also create posts. But then in your stories, you can actually share the link that brings them directly to the landing page or directly to the guide, where they can then put in their information in exchange for the guide. Another thing that I always liked to do was with property searches, you can actually go, it depends like what CRM you have or what system you're using, but if you have an IDX website where when people click on a certain number of properties or a certain number of images, it prompts them to input their information. Most websites you can configure that setting in there. So you could create a search on your website. So for example, I work in Burlington, so I might create a property search in Burlington for detached homes with pools under 1.6 million, and create that search. And then I can save that link and then actually put in my stories like, hey, if you want to see all the properties in this city that meet this criteria, click here, right? So you could do the same thing for like maybe first-time buyers. You could put like all the condos in Toronto for under $600,000, and people click there and they can see them all. Same thing, you could do that by like neighborhood, whatever it is that your niche would be. It's an easy way to get people to then go and browse those properties and input their information directly into your CRM. Same thing, if you have your listing, you could create a squeeze page, so it brings them directly to that one property. So instead of sharing the realtor.ca link, you could put them directly to the property, and after they go to look at 2 or 3 pictures, if they want to look at more, it's going to prompt them to input their information. So if they're serious about the property, they'll probably put their information, and then you'll have a chance to capture it directly into your CRM. Same thing for like a landing page. So if you're going to host an event, whether it's in person or online, you want people to opt into your newsletter, to opt into something, to fill out a form for a contest, whatever it is, you can actually put those links directly into your Instagram stories, and those will capture their information. And then you can also drive traffic to other content. So this doesn't exactly generate a lead right there, but it can bring them to other content where that content may then convert them. So what I mean by that is, perhaps if you have a YouTube channel, you can send them to your YouTube videos, where then they can go and see you talking a lot more. They get to know you a lot more. because it's long form content. And typically, if you have a YouTube channel, underneath the video, there's going to be other resources where they can click, and then that gives you a chance to capture their information. It's the same thing, like you could maybe drive them to your website where they're going to read something, or drive them to a blog post. And then this is just like an example. So in my stories, I might share, if I created a YouTube video, I would just literally share the video and the option to click it. It brings them to the video, and that's a chance for me to capture their information there. If I have a listing, you can put a sticker right on it and allow them to go to your website so you can capture the information, and same thing for a blog post. So showing up authentically is really important. I think this is where the timing part comes in, or even if you're nervous about how you look or how you sound, I really think that it doesn't really matter, because the point here is the more you can be yourself, actually, the easier it is to work with these leads in the future and to convert them, because it basically brings in the people who are actually drawn to you or interested in you or genuinely like you. And so it's so much easier to work with them. And that's kind of the beauty with social media, is that you're not necessarily trying to appeal to everyone on your social media. You're really trying to appeal to your ideal clients. And by showing up as yourself, you can do that a lot easier, and you can start the conversations a lot easier. So behind the scenes, if you're out at a showing, if you're scheduling some property tours, you can actually just go and show those while you're there. You can talk about things that you look for when you're at a property, right? This also helps to show your authority. So as a realtor, we don't just walk in and look at how beautiful the kitchen is, right? We're looking for things like water damage, and we're checking the windows and the age of the furnace. So talking about those things and sharing, what you do when you're actually going to a property to show the property, even while you're there showing the property, or before your clients show up, or if you're booking it for yourself, that's a great way to just do what you're actually doing in your day. You're not taking really any extra time. It takes about another 30 seconds to film a little story, and then you post it. If you're going to meetings or anything like that, you just bring them along with you and talk about what you're doing in your day, your daily life. If you have a coffee every morning, like, talk about that, or show a picture of it, make a little video of it. I like to talk about things that are going on in my life as a mom. That's where I've connected with so many other moms on Instagram who are typically, that's where my clients have come from. School drop-offs, if I'm going to the gym, a lot of people can relate to things like that. Pets, even sharing like funny, relatable memes and stuff actually gets people to engage a lot. Authentic moments, if you've made a mistake or something funny happened that day, with your family or a client or whatever, you can share it. Obviously, don't make fun of your clients or anything like that. I like to more kind of poke fun at myself, and that has people who can relate to those things. They'll usually reply to that. So the idea here is to just build trust and connection, because people aren't hiring your logo. They're not going for brand colors. They're not hiring the brokerage. They're really hiring other people. So treat this kind of like the behind the scenes, like your reality show, because people will then really honestly feel like they know you. I've met people, even other realtors at real estate events, and they've come up to me and they're like, oh, how are your kids? Your kids are growing up so fast, or this or that, or they'll know about my vacation. And sometimes I don't necessarily even know who they are, because they're not showing up all the time, but they're seeing me show up all the time. So they know so much about me. It's been the same thing. Like, we've gone to the farm with my kids, and I've met other parents there who they knew me from social media, but they honestly feel like they know you because you're really just showing basically everything that's happening. And when I say everything that's happening, it doesn't mean that you need to literally show private moments. Like, that's not what I mean, but more behind the scenes. And it depends on your comfort level. But the more you open up with people, the more receptive they are. So starting conversations, whenever you post your polls or your stickers or your questions, respond to every person who respond on your poll, right? Even if you only have 5 people respond, that's 5 DM conversations that you get to start that day. And I find using voice notes is really helpful because it creates a better connection. And I'm surprised a lot of people will send a voice note back to me, even though we've never talked before. And I find like it's such a more intimate level than just text, right? Now we get to understand the tone that they're using. We get to know each other a lot better. And it's a really easy way to segue into real estate conversations later. It's a softer starting point rather than going straight into a random stranger and asking them something about real estate. starting conversations with the soft asks, like if they responded to a listing or they liked the story where you shared a new listing, you could just DM them and say, hey, do you want me to send you more info on this? Or do you know anyone who's looking in the area? Those are really easy ways to just start the conversation. And we can mix business and personal content in our stories. So to get consistent, if you're one of the people who said you're not comfortable speaking on camera or showing up regularly on your stories, you could start with using photos, and you can also use voiceovers. So you could film these in something like CapCut or even Instagram Reels, and then just save it to your phone. Instead of posting it as a reel, you just post it as a story. So a voiceover would be, maybe you have a video of something and then you film with the voiceover. So you record yourself talking over it so they hear your voice on the story, but you're not actually holding the camera and talking to the camera live. So that might be a way to get more comfortable. You can practice. Like if you film the story and you don't like it, just delete it. If you have to film the same story 20 times, then do it 20 times. You're going to get more comfortable. You're going to get to the point where you can do it on the go and on the fly, and it doesn't feel that hard. And you can kind of let go, because you can remember they don't last forever. They last 24 hours. You could also film it ahead of time. So you could film a couple of stories, have them on your phone so they're batched, and then you post them like when it would make sense throughout the day. So you basically already have them ready. That's a good way to start. Or if you're uncomfortable, if it's taking you longer and you don't have the time to do it in the moment throughout the day, you could post a few, film a few ahead of time so that you just have them ready to go. So I'm gonna stop sharing so we can have a conversation, but I'm just wondering, after this, is there anything that anyone would change in their stories, or anything that you would do differently?
Yeah, I love your points that you mentioned about just the interaction, being more intentional with the polls and the surveys and things like that. So that's definitely something I can start to implement right away, just having more interactions for it.
I like that.
I think you dropped a lot of great information here, especially for people that are afraid of being on camera or, you know, participating on social media more often. And Jess is one of the people that really got leads and got deals done, closed from social media, either different platforms. So thank you for sharing with us. Guys, you have her here to ask questions. Just unmute yourself, ask questions or make comments, because that's how we learn from each other.
Helga, did you have a question?
I have questions. Can I ask? Thank you.
Yeah.
So those stories, they also get automatically posted to Facebook, correct? To the Facebook stories?
You can have it set up like that, yeah.
Do you find Facebook stories are at all the same as far as productivity or engagement as Instagram?
I find I have a few people who always engage with the stories, but I have my stories go to my business Facebook, not my personal. If I had to go to my personal, then maybe I would get more, but I don't have it go there. I have it go to my business one, my business
I
page.
find it the same. I have it to my business, but then I save, believe it or not, it's extra work because you can post it on both. I would have loved for Facebook to allow us to post it directly on both, but it doesn't. So what I do, I have it connected to my business page, and then every time I remember, I save every single, before you post it, you can actually save it on Instagram, and it saves with the songs as well, because otherwise you have to find a song on the other one. And then I post it on the profile stories on Facebook, and then you create like a habit at the end of the day before you go to bed, just let's delete all of the stories that you post everywhere so it doesn't clutter in your phone.
But are you filming directly on your story? Because I remember when you did want a video like directly on your story, you had to like hold the button the whole time.
You can go to your stories, and when you go to create the story, I'm gonna see if I can show you. You can there's a button here. I don't know if you can see. There's a hands-free button. So
Okay,
when you
cool.
go to film the story, you have to press the little down arrow at the bottom
Okay.
there,
Yeah.
and then it opens more options, and then there's hands-free. So if you press that, then you can just record without holding it the whole time.
And why would you choose that over just doing the video on your phone and then you can post it wherever you want?
I just find it's on there, it's easier. And if I want to put like stickers and filter and whatever, it's just all in one. I just do it at one time. And then if I want after I do what Andrea says, I use the little down arrow and I save it. So I just save it to my phone. So it's like already created the way I like it. And then I could post it somewhere else. But like if I post, for example, a poll and there's a picture of the poll, people can't engage with it other places. So it'd be more for like just talking, like a talking reel.
Okay. Just last question is, do you share your posts to your story?
I do. Yeah. Yeah. I share my posts because I have a lot of people and I'm like this. I'm guilty of this. So it's more for people who are like me, probably. I hardly look at my feed. I just look at people's stories 90% of the time. So because what I'm trying to do when I'm on there is mostly like engage with specific people, like people who I know I want to work with, and I know their accounts, and I'm going searching for them to see did they post something new. Okay, I'm going to like what they post. I'm going to engage with it, and then I'm going to the stories because I just want to talk to people. I'm only on there to start conversations. So I find stories are the easiest way to start conversation because when I reply, it's a DM. So it's not like weird to DM them because it makes sense because the reply is a DM.
Yeah. Cool.
Another thing about filming separately on the phone, which you can very well do that. The stories are 1 minute long. So if you're recording on your phone, then you have to kind of chop it off and figure out where you stop so it becomes harder. Another thing about posting your post into the stories, I see a lot of agents basically they have carousel posts and they post every single picture in the carousel in the story. That makes people not go into the post, where most likely in your description you have a call to action, and that's what they're going to miss that. So I personally, if I have a carousel, I post only the first one and make a note. There's 6 different ideas in this post. So I'm trying to get them to the post rather than seeing everything they need to see. It's already in the story, so they're never going to go to the post.
Yeah. Yeah, trying to get them to actually look at it is important. Like if you're going to share it, because yeah, like Andrew said, most of the time you do have something in the caption that you either want them to read or a call to action. So putting something, writing something there, like, you know, read the caption and let me know what you think, or something like that to get them to actually go look at it. I think, Karen, did you have a question?
Oh, no, it was actually more of a comment for people that are struggling sometimes with like the timing or like finding the time to post. You can, I mean, as long as you're not making it like a specific day relevant, you can save it in your drafts. So if you're going on a walk and or if you're doing something and you have something in your videos or whatever, just save it as a draft, and then that way you can just kind of oh, okay, I can post this today, or I don't have time. Like just maybe have like a couple things in your drafts ready to go, and that
Yeah.
at least you're, yeah,
Keep in mind that drafts are available for 7 days if for
7 days.
and with drafts in the post, they're there unless you delete your app and reinstall it, they disappeared. But in the stories, in 7 days, the drafts disappear.
Yeah, no, as long as you're doing it, like I'm talking about, yeah, like have a couple things there for, like say if you do something like on a like batch on a Monday or something, and then
Yeah.
have a couple things that you can post during the week, and just, you don't have to worry about again thinking of what to say or whatever, like if you're going around your kitchen or, you know, if
Yeah,
you want to
yeah,
kind of
exactly.
start
Just you can
showing that.
have things ready to go. And even sometimes I'll use like old photos that they're not new. Like I've posted them before.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to pretend like it's new, but I'll post the photo with like text over it about whatever's happening that day or a thought that I have or whatever, right? Or I'll use it
yeah,
as a background for a poll. So you don't always have to have fresh stuff. I think it is important to at
mm,
least once a day be like talking on there because the more we're showing and more we're talking, the more people are inclined to respond or feel like they know us. And that's how I feel like we develop the relationship so much better.
Yeah.
Another thing that you can do in the stories with us and creates a lot of engagement as well, because people are reposting. For example, if you have a training that doesn't have to be necessarily us in real estate, but for example, we're doing it today. If you post it and you tag Jessica and Jessica reposts it,
Yeah.
it creates engagement. But anything that you participate on, you participate in the training of Trib or our brokerage, whatever it is. And it's important to make a relation towards how that training actually helps a buyer and a seller. Because if you're posting and say, hey, we learned today about the stories, instead of saying we learned today about the stories and how that could, connect us with professionals in the way of helping buyers and sellers, something that relates to helping buyers and sellers that resonates with people. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was going to post, I'm sure everybody's, well, if you haven't done the training on the really trusted, like how you have
Oh,
to do
yeah,
those
yeah.
courses. So, a lot of people, a lot of buyers, like they have no idea. They're starting, they sometimes question, like, what is this FinTrack? Why do you need all this personal information? What is this all about? So sometimes it's yeah, like you said, like educating, buyers and sellers that, this is a big deal. Like this is, we have to do this. And this is just another aspect of our job. It's not just, going to see houses or whatever. Like, this is legal stuff that we have to be doing.
Yeah. And it shows, I feel like it shows that you're engaged in learning, the changes that are happening in the industry, how to protect your clients better, how to promote their listings better, how to get more eyes on their property. Like all of these
Mm.
trainings that we're doing, you can take it and position it in a way that it's directly benefits them if they work with you because you have this knowledge and you're going to use this to help your clients. Like that's something I would always do. Even when I had masterminds, about like getting referrals and stuff, I would then go and say like, oh, I've connected with like however many people are on this call today. And this is my net, like people that I can directly share and promote listings with to help more buyers see your property. Or if you're looking to move to XYZ province, I have partners there. I was on a call with people all over Ontario today. And like, that's a great way to get more referrals, things like that.
Great. Any questions? Questions or comments? Because you see they start conversations. Okay, don't be shy. Think that you are actually on a story on Instagram. Just unmute yourself and say something.
Well, I think you made a good point. Like I didn't touch on it, but like engaging with other people's contents helped me a lot too. So for example, like local businesses and stuff. If I'm there, I will like show that I'm there and tag them because a lot of the time then they will share that and that gives me more exposure to a new audience. If I have someone that I want to work with, if they have a business or something, obviously I want to support that. Or even my past clients, some of my past clients have businesses. Like that's how we've met is that they promote their business on Instagram. So every now and then I might go and share one of their posts, right? Like from their business page to help highlight them. And it's just a good way to show them that I'm supporting them. And then sometimes they'll share that again too. So it's just like kind of a circle and everyone gets some exposure from it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi, Jessica.
Hey.
I was wondering how much time per day do you spend on engagement? Do you actually set a time block, like let's say an hour a day for specifically, you mentioned before you actually search for certain people that you want to engage with?
Yeah.
So do you time block that?
Yeah. So I used to time block it like because I didn't have that much time in my day when the kids were home. So I used to do that where I would have like an hour set aside where I would go and find the people and comment and like and whatever. But now I just do it kind of in increments throughout the day. So I think if you have a really packed schedule, then put it in. I would say like give yourself an hour where you can go and engage in people's stories, but then also go and engage in posts. But or even if it's 15 minutes, like 4 times a day, for example, like you kind of spread it up throughout the day, however your schedule allows for it. But the reason why I'm not so much time blocking it right now is because I find that I'm having a lot of conversations on Instagram. And so it depends. I might comment like on 10 things and DM maybe 10 people, but they're not all going to respond to me right away. So you can find the time to start the conversations, but they're all going to respond to you random times throughout the day, and some people right away and some people later. So I find even when you set up the time to do that, you need to basically at some point be checking your phone to go and engage in the
continue the
conversation.
conversation.
Yeah.
And do you divide the conversation between realtors for attraction and clients for production, or do you?
Yeah, I would focus on like one at a time so that I know, okay, I'm having these conversations. If it's realtors, maybe I'm inviting them to something that we're doing. So I'm going to go and reach out to a certain number of them because I want to invite them. I'll send them a voice note and just find like those work better. Or I'm going to go and engage on their posts. And then if it's clients, then I would separate it just because I find, at least like for your mindset, it's easier to kind of know what your goal is in those conversations if you've separated them.
Yeah, thank you.
I think a point on using Instagram as a CRM platform, which a lot of us, we do that because we engage with people. I lately accidentally kind of discovered that you can actually bookmark like an account. So in my DMs, I have 2,000 or more DMs right now. And sometimes you kind of, you separate them between primary and secondary, wherever you have, but then it's still not enough. It feels like some people should be, but in the same time, maybe they're not ready to be into the CRM or into your calendar. It's still at the point of just kind of warming up. So I find that bookmarking in folders in your Google, for me, it helped because it allows me to just have this specific time of the day where I just go in there and I go through my bookmarks just to kind of watch their stories so they can see me, that I have my eyes on them, and comment, and that's it. So I use that just for that purpose. If the conversation already started, then they go into that primary where I know that I'm going to follow up. If it becomes a little bit more intense, then I plug them. And if I already had a conversation call or Zoom, they are part of the CRM. So kind of a little bit of how to drain the people from there into follow up. I find that bookmarking worked for me.
Bookmarking, do you mean when you put the like lead or client? Is that what you mean? Or
No. It's actually you bookmark and it comes out of the Instagram. So if you go on your profile and you go and look at one of your people that you follow or not, and you go on their profile and you press on the 3 buttons at the top, you can actually bookmark them. And when you bookmark them, they become bookmarked the same way you bookmark a link in your what's it called? You can do it for the phone, just so you know.
Oh, you can't do it on your phone.
No,
oh, okay.
You can do it on the phone.
Okay. I thought it was like the copy link or something.
No.
So it's on
you can do it on the phone. It's just on a desktop or yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. So when you do that, it exports it somewhere?
It exports it into a folder. So I created a folder that it's Instagram folder, and then you can give it a name or whatever just to know kind of where it is. And then if you go to your bookmarks and you have your bookmarks, you can make them in the categories, and you press on it, and you can keep it open. Like you can keep that open all the time. And what it does, you have all the names of the people that you want to basically daily follow up in liking their post or whatever, looking at their of their stories.
Yeah.
And you have them outlined and you just press on all of them one by one, finish with each of them. And I find it, for me, it helped to be a little bit more organized because you kind of lose track between all of the messages and all of that. They go to the bottom and you can't find them anymore and you miss them. So I find it's a little bit more helpful this way.
Yeah, that's really good, because for a long time what I was doing was either in the beginning I would just write their names down, and like I have a massive whiteboard like right in front of my face here on my desk. So I would like write the handle, the usernames of the people that I had good conversations with so that I know, okay, I want to keep, they're like kind of like in my face every day. And then other people I would either write it on the like notebook or in just a Google document. And then what I started doing was getting a little bit more organized and putting it into my CRM. So even if I didn't know their name, like, I mean, their phone number or their email, I would still put them there because it was just a way for me to at least know their name and their Instagram handle in case I ever somehow like lost, because also it can get disorganized in your DMs, right? Like, so I want to make sure I know those people with notes.
Yeah. I found a little bit problematic with that because it does take a lot of time to take a person from Instagram and put them into your CRM, which is the ideal place to be. But it's almost, to me, it's like you have to earn it to be into that CRM, which means I already have a conversation with you and I have a way of following up with you. The rest are kind of mass text or mass, like liking and comment. And if I do the work of taking the handle and put it somewhere else, I find that it's easier just, okay, click a button, it goes in its bookmark, and I'm just gonna go over each of them at a certain time on the day.
Yeah, that's so much easier if you have to do that. I like that.
So
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at your feed and you notice there's people that maybe you don't know or you know them from some time in your life and they just keep watching you, like, do you ever respond to these people? Do you ever, hey, Mary, I just noticed? Do you go the opposite way instead of you waiting for them to say
Oh
something?
yeah, all the time. Yeah, I would do that all the time. So I'd go to their account, and if they're posting a story, again, it's easier because you can just DM them through the story, and it's very soft in a way because they put it out there and you responded. But if there's someone who's not showing up in their stories, like a lot of people who have just regular personal accounts, they're not really showing up in their stories. So in that case, I would message them about something that they've posted recently or about something that I think if I know them, then it's really easy to, this reminded me of you, or I've been thinking of you, or whatever, like something to connect with them again. But I would 100% DM people, and I've done that all the time, even with strangers, finding people specifically with the intention to start new conversations with them and DM them based on what I saw in their account. So even if they like posted that they were at a park in my city, I could comment and say, oh, I saw you were at whatever park. I don't know. We love going there. What festival was that? Like if it looks like they were at a festival or something to ask a question to engage in a conversation. So I would always do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just to show you, Esra, she's on the call. She took a picture of the screen. She tagged me and Jess, and now I'm going to share her. Yeah. And she could even share back if she wants. And here goes. She has 1 or 2 or even 3 if when I share it, I make an additional comment, stories. So I personally, anytime when somebody's tagging me, I don't care. I share everything. And that's where you get more engagement because the algorithm actually catches from accounts that have more engagement. And you can always, like I said, I do post a lot of things about agent attraction and talking with agents, but you can take these things and spin it towards buyers and sellers because what we talk when we have these trainings, even though they are for agents, are to teach agents how to get more engagements with buyers and sellers and sell more homes. So you can always spin it around.
Yeah. I would even sometimes share other agents like posts or stories, or not stories, like their posts, if they're in other markets and stuff sometimes, as a way to basically like, it's just a great way for them to see that I'm supporting them, and then it opens the door to a conversation. And I've been able to get clients who are like people in Ontario who want to move to other provinces by sharing other agent stuff or sharing things from other locations and saying like, hey, like I have partners in these areas, or if you're looking to move to this like XYZ city, like let me know. And then I'll post something like talking about that city, and it's not mine, it's someone else's. And I've been able to then, now that agent, I got their attention and they're like, oh yeah, now we can develop this relationship to potentially refer people. And I've been able to get people from here who want to move to other places, and I connect them with people in those cities. And then that's almost like that's almost passive income because you don't really have to do anything other than pass off a lead. So I've done a few deals like that and they were amazing, but I only knew the agents from social media and the clients from social media. So it's just like the power of sharing those things, it actually goes a long way. And then it puts you on their radar. And that doesn't necessarily only need to be for agent attraction. That can be for you guys to develop a relationship, because chances are if they're in like, you know, Calgary or wherever, they know people who want to move here or who are selling here to move there and vice versa, right? So you can partner up together like that.
That's great. Thank you so much, Jess.
you.
For everyone that's staying on, just, you know, 11 o'clock, there's an AI training with Mark LaFleur. I don't know if you sign up for that, if you want to show up. He's going to talk about AI, but also his company, how he does it basically. You can choose to use them, or you can choose to take some notes of the way they're doing it and implement it yourself. So I was actually interested in learning how he does it, because I may hire, but I may also just learn new things that I can do. And to be honest with you, I'm starting to be super passionate about AI, because I discover new things that I can do with the AI all the time. And one of the things is that soon we're going to actually be able to integrate an AI to our Instagram and give them exactly the accounts that we want them to do likes and comments. And as long as you can train it that it's not kind of, you know,
Spammy.
spammy.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be an extraordinary tool. I can't tell you how many things I learn all the time about AI. One of the ones that I'm passionate about it, and I'm going to share with you on Facebook also, is the one that creates right now basically full presentation slides. And I take the script, I put it in AI, and I have, like, depending on, pick and choose. You want 8 slides, 24 slides, 60 slides. And that, in order to create buyers and sellers webinars, it's like gold, because usually takes a lot of time to think about the ideas, which you can still do with AI. But then also to create the graphics and all of that shit, it's a lot of time. So you basically put it in there, creates the whole thing. And I tried it actually this weekend, and it works fine. And then you have it in the PowerPoint, and you can re-edit things that you want to still re-edit and add, for example, your logos and stuff like that. But I find that it's mind-blowing, the things that you can do right now to save time with AI. So if anybody's interested, I'll see you at 11 o'clock with Mark.
Does that technology already exist for the presentation, or no, this is something
That exists. That exists already for the presentation. I'll put it in Facebook for everyone as a link.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. So we'll see you shortly on the other link. That was his link, so it's not from me, it's his own link. So but if we want the recording, I can ask him for the recording.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
perfect. Thank you.
Talk soon. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.